so unusual, feelings mutual. I'll always appreciate you, don't always wanna be the one you're coming home to. Boo, oh, it's so sunny through. What is that handhold? What is that hand holding? She's a mess. I've been listening to Mouth Culture all morning, so do apologise in advance if I'm just singing their entire discography the entire way through this video. Hello everyone and welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are you? I hope you're all doing well. Ooh, not weaved that in very well, have I? Today I'm going to be taking you through everything that I've crocheted this month so far. I was going to do a big roundup at the end of the month, but I just don't think I'll have time with market prep and other videos that I have planned and things like that. Most of the things that I've made have been with patterns, so I will be linking those down below. But there is one thing in here that's like, I've had a proper go at making it myself, and I'm really proud of him, and I will be showing you him in a bit, but yeah. I'm not sure whether, I don't think I'm going to properly section these up, but I've done accessories, clothing, and plushes. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it, my darlings. Okay, so I'm going to start with clothing just so I can get it out of the way. This here, let me speak about her. I finished her this morning. She is the first raglan sweater that I have ever done. Didn't even know what raglan meant. I thought that raglan was just using triple crochets and changing colours, which most of them are, but raglan, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, means that you start from the top and you end at the bottom. She goes a lovely shape and she fits really, really well. I've made a cropped, I don't know if you can see, she's a cropped raglan, and I've not made the sleeves long enough yet. They are long, like, don't get me wrong, they're long enough, but I like my sleeves extra long, so I think I might add another layer of this yarn here. But I enjoyed making her so much. She was super quick. I practically made her in about 15 hours, I think it was. And now that I've done this, I kind of want to do this for my scrap jumper. And I know that means that I'm gonna have restarted the jumper for a third time. But honestly, she was so fun to do and she fits really, really well. I can't remember the name right now, but she's like really, really well known in the crochet YouTube community, and now I kind of want to cry because I've like completely forgotten her name. But I'll put the video that I used up right here. Super duper easy to follow along. I just added a few extra rows than she did because I like an oversized fit. I like a baggier fit. I loved it. I loved making it, and I'll show you the yarn that I used too. I went to Hobbycraft the other day and finally got some fluffy yarn, which I will be talking about in a bit as well. I wasn't planning on getting anything for myself, like, at all, and I don't have any more. I basically used up the entire ball, so I'll have to put a photo here. And there were all these different colours in this specific yarn that's very much like the pebbles yarn that I used for the pumpkins, this one here. But it was marble. And it's Marble Chunky by James C. Brett. 200 grams, machine washable, why the heck not? But anyway, the colour. So there were all these different colours, there were a bunch of different colours in stock, but there was none that really took my fancy. Like, they were like pastel, or they were like too yellow, or they weren't tickling my pickle in autumn, you know what I mean? They weren't tickling my autumnal pickle. Then I like walked up a little bit, and completely separate from those was just one ball on its own of this one, this one, this one. And I genuinely felt like screaming. I was like, that is so Weasley, that is so Weasley core, that is their ginger hair and their colour palette all in one ball of yarn. And it was a shame there was only one. But my god. And it was £7, but I had a £5 Hobbycraft voucher, so technically it was £2, which is my girl math in. And it was like, it's 200 grams, so technically, if you want a girl math, it was £7, but I had a £5 Hobbycraft voucher, so that's £2, and it was 200 grams, so technically it was £3.50 per roll. So technically I got one roll free and the other one half off. Girl math. Oh, I've had it turn this side. No, they're both so dirty. Why? It annoys my sister so much when she watches my videos. She's like, I started watching your video and then I saw how dirty your mic was. And I'm like, I can't help it. I need to order a new one because this is really annoying. I just can't get it out. But yes, and then, I didn't go in looking for yarn for myself, but in my mind I was like, I'm going to see what mohair they have because it's the only place where I've seen that sells mohair near me. look at her. As soon as I saw it, I was like, it reminds me of a Picasso painting. Like, that is just so Picasso. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I need it. My sister's like, where will you use it? I'm like, I have no clue where I will use this, I just need it. It reminds me of Picasso when it's mohair, and I've wanted to try things with mohair for so long. And so I got it, and then I was looking at both of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, the colours that are in this yarn are these colours. So I don't know if you can see, but there's this like orange, and I wish I had some. I've used all of it up, like I said. I wish I had some to show you. But there's basically orange, there's blue, there's beige, all in this. The only colour that isn't in this yarn but is in this yarn is the green. Stunning, honestly. And then when I started making this, I'm like, I can't believe how perfectly I fell onto this. Like, I think this was £4 as well, but I can't. And she's so soft, and there's still a load of her left. Like, there's still a good 100 grams worth of her left. Like, it's all still there, but I forgot to save the label for that one, so I'll have to find that and put a photo up at some point. But yes, that is that's the last thing that I made of the month, which is actually a weird place to start now that I'm thinking about it. I probably should have started with what I began making, the first thing that I made, but I've started with the last thing that I made just to get it out of the way because I'm obviously wearing it now. But yeah, definitely doing this with my scrap yarn jumper because it just fits so lovely and so nice. I've not blocked the ends of the arms yet. These are extra rows that I did this morning, just because they're a bit short. But yeah, absolutely in love with it. Would highly recommend, and I will be making nothing but raglan jumpers from now on, because usually I make panels, like I do different panels and then I stitch them together, but this just feels a lot more secure and just nicer. And yeah, she's very slay and I love it. Okay, now I've got that out of the way. The next thing that I want to talk about is the eye jumper. Now, first of all, thank you so much for all the love that I got on the eye jumper video. Very appreciative. Whee! Again, I'm absolutely in love with her. The only thing is, when I was following this tutorial, my brain just does stupid sometimes, and when I was following this tutorial I didn't even think to like look what size it was, because to me it looked like the perfect size for me, but I didn't take into consideration that other people have different body types to me. Well, not body types, it was more the length. So like, I'm a very long person, so when I created this, it was plenty oversized if I had a shorter body, if that makes sense. The creator of it, Pixel, I always talk about her, absolutely lovely, love to bits. She's just coming up with a medium and large version of this, and this was a small. Big dum me I am. I added extra rows already, but I think it's more so how many stitches I had per thing rather than the rows. So I don't wear her that often just because she doesn't really fit the way that I wanted her, but also it's only been like 2 weeks since I made her, so I can't really expect to get that much wear out of her considering I don't leave the house because I'm a hermit. Again, she was a really fun project to do. I'd never done anything like her before. A lot of different stitches in there that I'd never done before as well, and it was really fun. I love colour switching. It just, in my brain, when you colour switch, you're doing a new project. When you have a row of a new type of stitch, it's a different project. It keeps my brain, you know, intrigued, because I'm like, oh, a new thing to conquer. So yeah. I really loved making her, and I would, again, highly recommend. So I would highly recommend going and having a slay at this as well. Shout out to my little Discord rats. I said I didn't mean to say that so like rat, but like my little Discord rats, love you. I know quite a lot of people in the Discord have been having a bash at the ice sweater as well, and have been having some fun with that, so yeah, super fun colours as well, completely different to ones that I've done. So this is very warm toned. I know someone in there's made it very cool tone with greens and blues, and it looks absolutely stunning. So yeah, it's a very fun thing to do, and I really want to make a green one for my sister like I said before, so I think that'd be super slay. Okay, so that is it for clothing, and now we'll be moving on to accessories. Okay, so in accessories there's only one thing that I've done, and it is the bandana that I spoke about in my last video. Why did I do it like that? Yeah, again, a super quick project. I've been on my granny square shit lately, so loved doing this. I'm really glad I went with the green. Love the green. The daisies, love the daisies. And then I'm obsessed with the little oyster stitch, like, can you see? The little oyster stitch on the rim. That part of the bandana. And yeah, I've yet to wear her out, but I will soon. But yeah, and once I re-dye my hair, she'll be even better because I'll be orange, practically. I wasn't sure whether to mention my whips right at the end or whether to mention them in the, like, topic that they fall into, but I'm basically doing a love heart version of this, but it is a whip because I've kind of abandoned it to make this. This was very sporadic, like I weren't planning on making this, so kind of pushed everything else to the back line. But if you watched the flower power video, then I did show you the granny squares and how they will be looking. And I still only have 3, so I need to work on that. But I think I'm not a person to have whips. I like to focus on one project at a time, but I am starting to get more whips the more that I expand my skills. So started making granny squares, obsessed with granny squares, now I've got a granny square whip. I started making sleeves again, obsessed with sleeves, so now I've got a sleeve whip. So yeah, I'm thinking it'd be fun at the end of every month to do a full video where I'm like trying to complete my whips for the month. I forgot to mention this in accessories, but my cat Beanie. I kind of didn't want to mention her because she's an absolute fail, and the more I look at her, the more I want to cry, so that's that. I've got a video on her if you want to watch that. And then I literally think that's it for accessories. I've been focused more on plushies. As you all know, I'm doing a market. I won't stop going on about it. So I've been kind of prioritising that over everything. So that's where I've got the most in. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, so plushies / home decor. I say home decor just because the first thing that I made this month was these pumpkins. This was the first one that I made. She's kind of uneven, but that's fine. These are all testers. This is all pattern testing. And I'm thinking at the stall, I think it'd be a really good idea at the stall to have like this box that I'm going to call my happy little accidents, and they're basically going to be plushes and home decor things that I deem not fit enough to sell at full price. So I'll have them in a separate box that'll just be like happy little accidents, because I still think they're sellable. They're just like this. This is just not even, but it's still really cute. And then I did this one which was like more even, and I'd put more segments in so it looks more pumpkinified. Like, to me that one's better, and also it's smaller as well. So little pumpkins, and I did that using the pebble chunky yarn that I showed you all in my little yarn haul. And then we move on to the ghosties. Now this ghost I followed using this pattern, but I'm notorious for, no, I won't say I get cocky with patterns. Oh my gosh, I won't say I get cocky with patterns, but I'm just like, oh, I've got the hang of it now, I don't need the tutorial to show me the rest of it, and then I just get carried away and I don't realise what I've done wrong. So this is the first little ghostie that I made, this little guy. Pew, pew, pew. But I missed a row. I only did 1 row after the arms. You meant to do 2 rows. So I remade him and added the extra little row. Can you see? Beauty guru, hello. But yeah, he's a lot better than he is, and I think this is the size that I'm going to be selling them for. Like, this is the size that they're going to be when I'm selling them, just because I think it's the cutest and the most practical. But I did have a bash at making bigger ones, so I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. So they're the big ones. Yeah, and then these had different eye positions as well, because I was seeing which ones I preferred. There's the ones that are closer to the arms and the ones that are closer to the schnoz. And also that one's wonky. It's weird. They're all testers, it's fine. And then I had a go at this chicken pattern. I get most of my patterns from Crafty Frog. Crafty Frog. Here's their YouTube. Here's their Instagram. But I get most of my patterns from them because they're all free and they're all really, really cute. Like, everything that they make is exactly how I wish to make it. So this is a duck. I love her. And I put little blushes on her with eyeshadow. And I think she's adorable. And I love her. She's made with this yarn, which is the super soft yarn. It was pretty cheap. It was $1.99. Yeah, so I can make plenty of her from her. And it is also, I use this oh my god, I can't. My grandma gave me this yarn, and again, if you watched my yarn haul, you'll see what it is. And it's basically this super Super trooper, lights are gonna guide me. And it's basically this. And I was looking at it, I was like, that reminds me of a Polish chicken. So I was like, I want to try making something. This yarn, I feel like it gave me grey hairs. I can't put into words how stressful it was trying to work with this yarn, and it's just put me off working with it again. But I posted what I crocheted this month on my TikTok and also on YouTube Shorts, and people were commenting how much they love him. So it's kind of like, do I just learn to work with this yarn and put myself through that stress? Or do I just leave it? But people are enjoying it and I really love him. Like, he's so fugly. Like, he's so fugly, but in the best possible way. This is him. How... Like, this is... I clearly went wrong somewhere because this is how it's supposed to look, but this one's really small and tiny. But I kind of... Oh, I love him. I really do. I love him. I love him so much. But when I was naming him, as in like what type he was, or what, is he a duck, is he a chicken, what is it? He's a cygnet. Like, I don't know why it didn't pop into my head. I'm looking at him, I'm like, you look like an animal, what do you look like? He looks like a cygnet, like a baby swan. So that's what he is. He's my little cygnet plushie and I love him to bits. Love him to bits. Oh, I also want to quickly mention, I did double check that all of the plushes that I'll be selling that were from patterns, like from YouTube or from Instagram or from Ribbler or anything like that, that it did specify that I was allowed to resell them, just as long as I gave credit. So I've looked on like different YouTube videos from Crafty Frog and things like that, and they said that you can use the patterns to sell things as long as you credit. So just wanted to clarify, just wanted to clarify that I have double checked that I can. And then last but not least, the things that I've made the most of this month are little mushy boys. I love making mushrooms so much, and even more so now that I've found this yarn that I'm going to show you in a second. Just to have my own pattern for something, it'd just be super duper fun, and I think it'd just be really slay as shit. So I took the chunky white yarn and this chunky wool like red yarn, and it's like really, really fluffy, and I created this little boy. And again, he's wonky, he's too big, the hook size was too big, I didn't do enough rows, and he's just a bit skewiff. He's a little bit skewiff, but it's fine, we love him. But taking all that in mind, I did this little mushy boy, and he's so much better. He's not perfect, but he's so much better. And this one, I also purposely did his hat inside out. I'm gonna just see if I can show you. Oh, that's better. I did his hat inside out because it's so much fluffier when you flip it inside out and then do the rest. Like, that just looks like normal, like, acrylic yarn. That looks really fuzzy and fluffy. It kind of looks like, I don't know if you've seen people purposefully fluffing up their yarn. I like saw someone do it with a beanie the other day, but it kind of looks like that, and I think it looks really, really super duper cute. Now that is just your normal red mushy boy with the little love heart top. Adorable. But when I went to Hobbycraft, I found the fluffy yarn that I was talking about, the Flutterby chunky yarn, and this is like parfait chunky, but I've realised that this is a lot thinner. Oh, it's James C. Brett again. Absolutely slaying it. But I've noticed that it's a lot thinner than the parfait chunky that I was talking about the other week. So these aren't perfect, but this is the star of the show. I saw her and fell in love with her. I wasn't sure I was going to use it, so I got it, and then I was like, it was kind of like a one after another because my brain was just doing a big one. I was like, oh my god, I could make rainbow mushrooms, and then I was like, wait, this literally reminds me of the circus. I could do clown mushrooms, like give them little cross eyes, and then I was like, wait, no, I could give them little cross eyes and a red nose, like actual clowns. I can't put into words how much I love this. There was this one and then there was a pink one, and I couldn't decide between this one and the other one. I'll pop the other one up here now, but I'm so glad I went with this because it's just it's a clown in a ball of yarn, and I love it so much. And you know how earlier I was talking about how each colour switch and each different stitch is like a new thing to conquer, like it keeps my brain going. This yarn looks different every time you use it. So this is the first one that I made. I'll show you my first one that I made. I'll show you my first one. It's so cute. Give over. Like that, clownery, clown behaviour. And then this is him, and I used the same pattern that I wrote for these little mushy boys. These little mushy boys. And I used this 5mm hook for these, and that's fine, but when I use it for this one, because the yarn is thinner than this one, then it did turn out a little more holy than I wanted, and my tension isn't the tightest. I don't have the tightest tension, so I need to work on that. Anyway, this is him. I did him with little cross eyes, and I did them as in like X's, and I changed that afterwards because I didn't like it. But I'm also thinking of maybe like putting some oyster stitches on the end of here just to make him look a bit more funky. I'm not too sure. But yeah, and then his red nose. The red nose I need to work on, I feel, because it does kind of look like a duck beak. But I don't know. I'm not too sure. And then I did him little eyeshadow. So, that was my first one. And then my second one, I was like, right, I need a smaller hook size. So I did a smaller hook size. When I was at his little feet, I was like, oh shit, I've just put eyes in him when I'm supposed to be doing cross eyes. So he's got full eyes. But as you can see, the holes are a lot better. He holds his shape a lot better. But again, I just think it's the tension. I don't want to go in a smaller hook size because the hat is perfect in that hook size. This is a 4, so I went down a whole hook size. It's just my tension that I need to work on. But that's that. And as you can see, very different, very different, but still very colourful and very clown, very much clownery. But then I started working on the hat for my next one to experiment, and it turned out completely blue with a little bit of red, so I was like, right, that's not clown enough, so I'll just do him as a multicoloured mushroom. So this is just a little mushy that I'm going to be having. He's going to be labelled as just a colourful mushy instead of a clown mushy. But yeah, he's super duper adorable yet again, and I think the tension was a lot better on this one. As you can see, same hook size, just better tension, and is less holy. And then this was my last one, and colourful. So I was like, it was really fun because I'd work up the hats and then I'd be there and I'm like, does this say clown or colourful mushroom to me more? And I was like, this says clown to me. So I made him into a clown, and I did his eyes different to the first one. Where is it? So I did his eyes like actual clowns, because I was there and I was like, this doesn't look like a clown, he looks like he's dead. And I was like, because clowns have this type of cross, not an X. And then the nose, again, is red and super duper cute, and yeah. So that was the first one, and then this is the newest one, and again, it's just the tension that I need to work on. But other than that, perfect. And I'm like so in love with clowns. I love clowns so much. Pennywise is my #1 crush. No, I mean he is. But what I mean is I love clowns. I just love everything about them, especially vintage clowns, like these type of clowns. Oh, I love them. So these they have a special place in my heart, and I love them so much, and I want to make an entire army of them. Like I said, I posted on TikTok and on YouTube what I crocheted this month, and that included these little crochet clowns, like clown mushrooms. And people were like, do you have a pattern? Which made me very happy because I got a reply saying I made the pattern myself. I'm still working on it, so there won't be a pattern release yet. But then some people were asking if I had an Etsy or if I was selling them at all, and I will be, and hopefully by the time this video goes up, they will be up and uploaded. But like I said, I've been perfecting the pattern. I'm not 100% happy selling these ones at full price yet, so these will probably go into the Happy Little Accidents bundle. But yeah, hopefully by the time this video comes out, my Etsy will all be set up, so feel free to have a gander at that in the description. And then last but not least, I've mentioned these in a couple videos already, but I have basically big fat failed the Granny Square 31 Days of Granny Squares challenge because I've just not had the yarn, not had the time, not had the patience. So basically one of these nights I'll be catching up on all 14 Granny Squares that I have missed, because I still only have 4. I still only have the eyeball, the moon, the pumpkin, and the skull. So I need to catch up on those. I still want to do, like, the only thing motivating me to still carry on with that is the fact that I cannot wait to have a video where I'm sat down taking you through all the granny squares and sewing a little blanket together. That's the only thing that's keeping me motivated and keeping me going for that. But yeah, that is basically everything that I've crocheted this month so far. We are on the 18th, so not that many days left. I'll basically just be making more of these plushes, more of these little mushy boys. I'm going to do some octopi, I think, today, and more pumpkins. So yeah. Like I said, everything that I've mentioned in today's video will be linked down below, whether that's a Pinterest pin, whether it's a written pattern, or whether it's a YouTube video tutorial. They'll all be down below in the description, as well as the Discord. We are almost, I believe we're almost at 80 people now, which is absolutely balmy. But yeah, everyone's super duper lovely in there. I've not been that active these past couple of days just because I've kind of been like high-key stressed about just video making these plushes. I've re-downloaded TikTok so that I can make more TikToks as well, so feel free to go and follow me on that. I've also started posting properly on Instagram with my crochet things, so that's super duper fun, I guess. But yeah, that is it from me, my lovely pumpkins, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye now.